I'm going to start with you, and maybe you can guide me a little bit through all of this. And I mean, digital banking is one of the most hottest topics in the world. We've seen investments all over the place. We've seen N26 just got almost $1 billion of investment last week. Was it last week, I think? And in Kosovo, we see so many fintechs now arriving from outside and investing here, also blooming from the inside. Can you share a little bit your experience from what you do in the bank, and what value are you providing the customers in the next years?
Yes, probably prior starting and touching a bit this topic, we have guests here from our IT provider company, which is QUIPU, which are expecting us online, right, Renata? And they will talk about more globalization and digitalization and trends in the IT, from the IT perspective. So let's see if we can try and connect them. Yes, we have Andrei here, who will join us at this stage.
So it's Andrei and Petru, right? Is it okay if I'm calling you Andrei and Petru? Because either way, I'm gonna pronounce your surname wrong. So I guess it's just first name. We cannot hear them.
Can you hear us now?
Oh yes, we can hear you now. This is
right,
the most famous quote of pandemics. Your microphone is on mute. So maybe we start with you, Andrei. Is that okay? Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about digital banking, what's going on in the world, what should the people here be interested to hear?
Thank you very much for the very fast introduction. First of all, let me say thank you for welcoming me here today. It gives me a great pleasure to speak to such a welcoming public and be part of such an interesting discussion. I would have really loved to be there present. I was in the beginning of the week in Pristina, but unfortunately the calendars did not align very well. Also I hope that now that lunch is over, we've got a couple of extremely exciting topics, which I'm pretty sure will wake up everyone. And I suspect that this is why we got this time slot assigned in the first place, to bring the public back in front in the first place. We could probably talk about days of what's happening in the world, and even more exciting in the world of technology trends in the banking industry. But first of all, let me tell you, I find it amazing really that we are living such exciting times to start with. Back in the early 2000s, when I started personally in IT and banking, this was not really a happy marriage. Banking was really about a large network of branches representing a solid physical presence for many customers and clients, the ultimate trust builder. Well, kind of normal also if you look at all the pyramid schemes and financial scandals, disappearing investment funds that plagued Eastern Europe throughout the 90s. Software and IT obviously were mostly about providing faster accounting, and cash was still very much the king, while tools such as cards or other payment instruments were mostly oriented towards either credit or considered a tool for luxury travelers. Almost 2 decades later, it's hard to imagine going to the bank or to the utility providers with a bunch of cash to pay a loan installment or to make a transfer or settle some bills. Globalization and technology advancements, particularly in IT, have changed the whole equation of banking. So what are the trends in the banking industry these days? To answer that, let's first look at what customers want. They want to be able to move their money whenever they need them in a fast and cost-effective and transparent manner without surprise fees and commissions. They want to be able to access them whenever they need them, at whatever time of the day or night and in any place in the world. They want to be able to access credit products that help them realize their dreams and fulfill their needs without leaving them over-indebted and jeopardizing their long-term well-being. And last but not least, they want, of course, to know that their money are secure where they left. So naturally, at first, leveraging on the power of evolving networks and the World Wide Web, all the banks went for using technology to fulfill these two first needs, the accessibility and the fast mobility of money. And hence, in the early second decade of the century, we saw a sprawl of cards, ATMs, e-banking platforms, integrations with various utility providers, all of these tools aimed at making the experience as frictionless as possible. In the background, ever more potent customer relationship management systems were put in place to help structure the newfound wealth of information available from scaling the number of transactions and being able to connect them with a huge number of pieces of other information. The single most important goal of this endeavor, provide the customer with the best service experience for each unique set of needs. In the second part of the second decade, when the mobile technology overtook the world, it enabled us to literally put the bank in everyone's pocket. And also throughout this period, technology helped revolutionize the world of security and preventing fraud, one of the major dangers to the trust relationship between the client and the digital bank. Complex, sophisticated systems were put in place to prevent unauthorized access to data and to help comb through the vast amount of information, looking for the needle in the haystack and raising alarms before it was too late. Regulations and sometimes very specific norms were put in place to make sure that banks uphold their duties to safeguard money that are entrusted with. In fact, for every dollar spent in technology, almost another one is spent in security, with just very few other industries having a higher ratio of security to operational IT cost. So with all these advancements in accessibility, mobility, and security of your money, what else is left for technology to do in order to support the banks to meet their customers' needs? Well, first of all, in this arms race to digitalize the access to banking services, many times the back office side of the processes and system was the collateral victim. Platforms were built over many years with ever-swelling accumulation of complexity, and making migration and technology to newer technologies risky, delaying the adoption of the newest advancements, and increasing the issues and costs associated with operating a legacy infrastructure. Don't forget that in banking, the cost of cyber risk and those of operating the IT infrastructure play a significant role, particularly in the ability of the digital banks to bring cost-effective solutions to their clients. Banks that are going to be successful in providing great digital banking services in the future will have to conquer first their histories. While software as a service and cloud-based platforms represent here indisputably the best solutions to dealing with legacy IT, their adoptions, unfortunately, is many times slowed down by the piling data protection and supervision-driven regulations, but also sometimes by the vested interests in the world of on-prem IT. The onset of artificial intelligence and machine learning hails a new era in the terms of digitally assisted and automated decision-making, which will have significant impact to the banks in their ability to scale operations while maintaining a lean operating cost structure. Many opportunities derived from the usage of these technologies are set to unfold within the next decades. It's going to be exciting. Cryptography, a classical example of this being blockchain, or zero trust implementations on the principle of never trust and always verify, will pave the way for more secure and hence more trustworthy transactions of all kinds, not just digital banking, not just financial transactions, any kind of transaction. And speaking of dinosaurs and skeletons in the closet, complex banking regulations over the years led to accumulation of documents progressively more difficult to manage. So despite advancements in in transactional banking and digital banking, customers still have to make their way to the branches time and again for providing certain documents, such as updating IDs, for signing contracts, or for any other type of face-to-face interaction, which is typically document-based. In the fast-paced digital world that we are living in, I know as a customer and from many other people around that there is little joy on the side of us for such visits to the branches. So this brings me actually to the main point of the discussion today. What if, after having put yesterday the bank in your pocket, tomorrow you don't even need to visit the branch at all? In the next minutes, my colleagues will show you how we in QUIPU the digital service provider for ProCredit Group, combine technologies to make that goal a reality. And then we'll also show you how that reality looks like in the context of ProCredit Bank Kosovo.
Thank you so much, Andrei. Thank you for your words. So basically, it's accessibility, mobility, and security from what I'm hearing. And these are the important steps that you need to overcome to bring this new beautiful technology to our pockets in a way, because we have a machine which is extremely powerful now and we have access to the world. I have a very personal question for you. You've come to Kosovo a lot and you have a big operation here. How happy are you with the people that you have been training here and developing, and with their work ethics and stuff? This is something which I personally am concerned with. Probably the people here are also concerned. Or maybe just to rephrase it a little bit, if somebody from Germany would ask you, like, would it be worth it to invest our engineering team in Kosovo, what would be your answer? Just be honest, it's okay.
So first of all, probably for those of you who are not yet aware, there is a very high probability that at least one of the plastic credit cards that is in your pocket or debit cards is produced by us, by QUIPU in Kukaj in Frankfurt, our personalization center there, which we have built over the last 20 years, and which we have also brought around this nucleus of the personalization, a lot of other resources. We love Kosovo, and we have the second biggest office in the world, biggest being in Frankfurt in the head office. The second biggest is in Kosovo, in Pristina here. And actually, the colleagues that are today in the audience and are also watching this interaction live know how proud we are of being there, being part of the growth of this extremely vibrant market, which provided us with a lot of very good, talented people, and which is for us also a future development area. Besides Kosovo, actually, we have a very big group of colleagues that have moved throughout the years from Pristina to Frankfurt as well. So actually, Albanian is the second most spoken language in our head office after English, which is our lingua franca.
So me, hypothetically being a German investor, or maybe a Scandinavian investor, something wanting to open an office in Kosovo, you would give us a green light, right?
I would give more than a green light. I would give a strong endorsement, and I would actually bet that this will continue to develop the labor market there in Kosovo, but as well the potential for future investment in the future.
Thank you so much. That's very nice to know. Maybe I would give the floor to your colleague, and I would like to know a little bit more from the group level about the developments and latest trends that are going out there. Petro, are you still with us?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, nice. Thank you so much, Andrei, again.
Thanks to you as well.
Hello, Petro.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the time, and thank you for the opportunity to talk with you today. I hope that next time we'll meet actually face to face. We, as Andrei mentioned, we actually love to be there with you, but just the agendas didn't synchronize too well this time. As Andrei described, basically the idea that we have in mind in QUIPU and in ProCredit Group is to leverage from the evolution of and progress in IT worldwide. And as Andrei mentioned, basically having a smartphone in the pocket today, that's the main entry point for the systems today. We start leveraging from banking, directly opening an app these days. In the context of what we're going to show to you today, we had several technical challenges also, where we wanted to leverage from the investments and experience security in our private cloud that we manage, but in the same time use public clouds, also as Andrei mentioned, to scale the systems, to scale the possibility to allow people to reach the systems from wherever is the location, and in the same time make sure that the technologies that we use, and you'll also see in the demonstration, which allow us to extract different information from the ID that you use during the process of onboarding, recognition of that information using machine learning. That was, again, something that we wanted to leverage out of the public clouds. So the final architecture of the system that we managed to put in place allowed us to interconnect several worlds, let me put it like that, in order to create a scalable system which, through the smartphone these days, would make the interaction with the customer in order to enter into the banking digital environment by opening finally, basically, an account. As we previously mentioned, we are very proud of being in Kosovo, considering that we have very skilled team out there. And together, we basically managed to put together with business, such a mechanism which allows us to be, I believe, the first in the market, and this helped us a lot to understand, to learn, and in the next months, for sure, we'll learn even more about the experience that people get out of the system.
Thank you. I think you were one of the first and maybe the only companies that set up their own data warehouse solution. I think completely was built from scratch. Is that true?
Well, yes, let me put it in this way. Basically, what we wanted to make sure that anytime when there is a specific opportunity, we want to make sure that we analyze properly what are the options in the market and choose the right direction. And we will all the time look in options which will allow us to guarantee the services independently on where they're going to be used, how they're going to be used, and data in a nutshell will be the main information that we're going to look into. And as you mentioned, data warehousing solutions, again, this is something as of a great interest for us.
Yeah, it was a surprise for me when I started to do some research about data warehouse, and then QUIPU showed up like on the first few replies from Google, which made me pretty proud. Thank you so much for your time. I'm gonna go back, and then if I have more questions, I'll come back to you again. Okay?
Thank you.
So to come back to the public, opening an account, a bank account in Kosovo, is used to be one of the most, let's say, boring processes out there. It took a lot of time. It was sometimes too much for most of the people. And then pandemics hit, and it became almost impossible to do that, because you had to go there to sign 200,000 papers, to show them your ID, to show them your birth certificate, marriage certificate, house certificate, electricity. It just got too long. And what one of the banks in Kosovo did is they created for the first time the online bank opening process. And our guest is going to tell us a little bit more about it, because it is the first probably in the region, or especially in Kosovo, yes? And to show us the benefits and the whole strategy, how it came to life. Thank you so much for being here.
First of all, I would like to thank you all for giving us the opportunity to share the experience of 100% account online opening in our bank. I will explain a bit the customer experience, how the process goes. Probably in the back you would see the know-how video as well, but I will explain it in brief details what we have to do for reaching to the account opening 100% online. So first of all, what the client has to do is simply download the mobile application of the bank, be it on iOS or Android, and we'll continue the process of applying from there. So you
is the app online now?
Yes. So what
How
you
can they find it? What should they type? Just ProCredit Bank?
Yes, ProCredit Bank Kosovo. You would download the app, and then on the first screen you would see the opening of the bank account button. The clients can simply just click there, and what we have requested from them is some basic information, not to make the process boring. So there are only a few information that clients will type in, and then we'll continue the process of registering, attaching ID front and back. And from there, the process will start to the next phase, which is video identification process. So after attaching these documents, video identification process will start. And here I would like to mention a fact that clients will get connected with our contact center advisor and will have this reaction with bank staff in order to explain a bit more in details the process, to explain to the clients the benefits of the account.
Is it going to be a video call or a text-based?
It is a video call. It is a video call. We would see in the video as well afterwards. Then the clients, after this discussion that we'll do with a contact center advisor, will finish the process of video onboarding. It's worth mentioning probably here that prior starting the video identification process, there is a verification process which is done. We will require, or we will send an OTP, a one-time password, via SMS to the phone of the client, which was registered in the beginning of the process. And then we will continue the next very important step, which is electronic signing of the agreement. So we are saying that we came to the point that we agreed. We discussed with the clients. We will continue the relationship with the bank, and then we will come up to the signing process, which is a very important step, I would say, and which makes the process very innovative, I would say, in Kosovo as well. One thing probably, just so I explain it a bit, you would see in the video as well that after the video onboarding process, there would be a short code, a number, which will be shown to the clients just in case if there is an interruption on the process, accidentally client closes the application, or there is an internet interruptions. With that short code, client can continue the process afterwards from where they left.
Yes.
Just so we make it
convenient,
a better customer experience process in this case. So we said that we would be here the process of a signing process. I mean, there will be a banking service agreement shown to the clients. He will have time to read it, accepts it, as well as he can download it on his phone and just keep it for future references. The bank here will issue the digital certificate for this process. Again, here there will be a request for a OTP. One thing to mention here probably that we are, as a bank, we issue certificates on behalf of a company which is on the list of EU trusted providers. So we issue signature on behalf of them. Client will have to fill in the OTP in the form where he was leaving the process. And then from there on, when the process is completely finished, the account is active. So the process is very easy and simple, as we used to have our services. Account is active immediately. Client can use for immediate transfers. They even have their e-banking username and password, which will be sent to them via SMS. They can log in immediately to e-banking. They will have an access at mobile banking applications, so they will simply do feel the experience of banking with us immediately. At the same time, the card, their plastic card, will be processed and delivered at their homes within a few days. So the process, it's very smooth, I would say. We could see it probably even on the video, and you can see it yourself that what it takes is max 15 minutes, but not more than that. We might show it here with a voiceover, so I think it would be clear for all of us here.
Kari, 100% online. Shkarkoni aplikacionin mobil ProCredit Bank Kosovo në App Store dhe Play Store. Shtyp, hap llogari në bank. Plotësoni parakushtet dhe vazhdoni me vendosjen e të dhënave tuaja personale. Fotografo ID-n në të dy anët. Dhe vazhdo hapet në vijim. Kontrollo të dhënat tuaja dhe shtypni vazhdo. Presni derisa të gjenerohet numri unik i aplikimit. Ruani këtë numër, sepse do t'ju shërbej për vazhdim të procesit më vonë nëse shkëputet lidhja. Shtypni fillo video bisedën, ku do të kontaktoni direkt me këshilltarin e bankës. Ju lutem të keni afër ID-n dhe një faturë. Pas përfundimit të video bisedës, presni derisa procesohen shënimet dhe kaloni në fazën e fundit të procesit dhe shtypni vazhdo. Pranoni certifikatën digjitale për nënshkrim digital. Pranoni marrëveshjen për shërbime bankare dhe shtypni vazhdo. Shkruani kodin e sigurisë që ju dërgohet me SMS. Shkarkoni dokumentet tuaja. Shtypni përfundo. ProCredit Bank.
Yeah, and this is how easy the process is for 100% account opening online.
The security code was same with somebody else security code that was used in, you know this name? Well, no, it's somebody if they know it. What will the app be used besides this? So people will it be connected to the mobile banking app?
Immediately after.
Immediately.
So
So they don't need to disregard the app?
No. Immediately after they can bank with us freely. I mean, they have access in e-banking and banking. Their username is written on their banking service agreement. They can save the banking service agreement on the phone, so they have the bank on the pocket.
Nice. I'm going to come back to you again,
Yeah.
but since we're talking about digital signatures, maybe we should go to my friend. You are kind of my friend, you know. So, from the government, the only person I know in the government. I mean, we have so many things to do as a country in digitalization and education of young people and many others, as we discussed many times. But digital signatures is one of those critical things which is keeping businesses, if I can say, keeping businesses from growing. What is the current state?
Thank you, Ermal. It's a pleasure to be with you and with all these people. Maybe 70% of them I already know, since I'm working for a long time in the government, and with Stick and with Ms. Chavoli and Sachiu and Valion and all others. So I was invited in this 10th edition to speak in 4 panels, but I choose this one. And ProCredit Bank invited me because they also considered that I was a kind of supporting development of online services. So what government is doing and what government should do, in my opinion, and based on my experience, more than 18 years in the government, I think that at least what the government should do is to draft proper legislation and proper infrastructure. That's at least. But now government is in many sectors taking a proactive role in providing services as well. So after market liberalization and broadband development in Kosovo, I think that this issue of electronic identification and digital wallet and electronic signature creation and everything else is most important project in the next period. So what are we concretely doing? I hope tomorrow in the Parliamentary Commission for Economic Development will be the last meeting to clarify to the parliamentaries about the law. So I do hope that end of November we will have the law, primary law on electronic identification and trusted service in electronic transactions. So, but this law per se is necessary to be associated with other secondary legislation. And we are working at the same time with Austrian ADA through Access Project to develop secondary legislation. So first we need law approved by the parliament, and we will need immediately to launch secondary legislation. That will go through very fast. So what will this law regulate? This law will regulate electronic signature and conditions how to use electronic signature, electronic certificates, qualified certificates. What else? Electronic identification. After that, you have electronic means and electronic schemes. So these are some notions that this law will regulate. Okay. I thought the gentleman is asking me something.
Yeah. We can ask
after the law, after the second legislation, we were successful, and we were very happy that European Commission supported the government through IPA 2019 with 4 million euros to create a complete national electronic identification system. So we are working with the Commission, with the office here, with the European Commission in Pristina, to launch the TORs at the latest in January. That's how I was told, next year. So in next year, it will be a top issue how to go further with the system, with the electronic identification system. But things are not easy, and I see two things, and based on an analysis done by the Commission project, that we need to have a kind of awareness raising into the population, but also to develop services. So I am very happy that ProCredit Bank already started to develop a proactive role on developing services and being a trust service provider, kind of trust service provider. But with this law, things will be more regulated a bit, and all the information will be public. So we will need to work together with the private sector in order to raise awareness, as I said, and develop services. Without raising awareness and developing services, system can be there, but not used at all.
It can be a chicken and egg problem, because companies are not developing services because the law is not there, and the law is not there because there are not enough services. So somebody has to step up the game and to bring it there. So you're saying if in November, if the law passes, then what is the next phase?
So next phase is secondary legislation with regard to regulation.
Okay.
And immediately after that, launch of TORs, terms of reference, for creating a national system for digital identification. And after that, based on digital identification, we can create electronic identification means and schemes in order to use everything what's there, joined with the digital identification. So these are plans, and I do hope that everything is planned properly, and we go smoothly. But as I said, we need to see how to prioritize some sectors in order to use a system as soon as possible. So we're considering that the financial sector is more ready than other sectors to use it. And especially, I was talking to the Banking Association and ProCredit Bank and other banks. Almost every week they are coming to my office and discussing, because it's a new area and it's not easy to understand all these things. But also tax administration, Kosovo customs are really waiting for the law and for the system. So we do hope that this financial part will, let's say, take a lead on providing services, and if financial part will be ready and will provide services, after that it's very easy, because things that are connected with the money, and you are successful on that, there is no problem after that. So this is the plan. This is everything realistic. It's not a political, declaration, but I am talking what we did and what are real plans, what we need to do.
Thank you. I hope it goes smooth, because companies are really struggling for these things, especially for innovation and new services to come alive. So I mean, after this, I guess PCB can be called the most digital bank right now in Kosovo. My clients, who are not you, are going to be mad about this, so I hope they're not watching. It's another bank. What else are we expecting from credit in the next years in regards to digitalization? I mean, we see a lot of competition from new fintech companies. What are the plans?
Actually, we've been pushing digital strategy a lot prior pandemics. But here I would like to say that pandemic was a sort of a period that was pushing not only younger generation, but clients of all ages into the digital world, and it was mandatory for the banks to continue the digitalization process. So now we are saying that the digital banking is here. We've been through a lot, and having in mind the latest trends and the development on the technology, we seek forward to looking innovative and to bring to the clients a latest, easy, convenient services, I would say. We have a full support of our IT provider company, which is QUIPU, and I believe that we have to offer a lot, secured services, I would say, and in a very convenient way. So we have in our pipeline, we have a lot of activities to do for the year to come. We will continue enhancing our digital channels that we have, and as well enhance and boost the services, the current services that we offer. So the digital ecosystem strategy that the bank is pushing further is to really reach this end point where we offer a secure channels for our clients, saving time for them while banking with us, and as well use our skilled and specialized staff to be like a backbone of the strong client relations that we have. So you would see a lot from ProCredit on the years to come, and I really hope that everybody is enjoying and trying to open a ProCredit bank account 100% online. So we will see you there.
Thank you. Thank you. Maybe we should have some questions from the audience. Is there anybody that can help me with any of the questions? My friend. Hello, Farbard. So Farbard is, I should call you doctor now, right?
Well, officially you should, yes.
Yes, yes. In Germany, you respect that
Extremely.
extremely. So,
No,
Dr.
you can
Dr.
call me
Bardi,
Farbard.
the floor is yours.
Thanks a lot. Maybe for some of you who have been in the past COS ICTs, maybe we had the chance to meet. I'm very pleased to hear your talk. Thanks a lot from both of the speakers and from the previous speakers. I remember in my first invitation to join COS ICT 2018, I actually talked about the particular topic of EIDs and EIDAS, and I'm more than pleased to see that there has been a development since then. Maybe for the transparency of everybody present, I would like to emphasize that Kosovo already has one electronic ID system, and I am aware, and I have been also talking to Mr. Agim Kukaj about the current project of basically designing a new EID system. I'm still, maybe we'll do a little bit provocative question.
It's normal from you, it's okay.
Yes.
It's,
I like to do a little bit, let's say, challenging question. Has there been any feasibility study, let's say, of what is the benefit, what were the challenges of the current EID scheme in Kosovo, which is existing and which we know most of the people already have an electronic identification means in their pockets, and what the cost would be to actually migrate and to design and implement a system from a beginning? What were the what was the main motivation behind this? Thank you.
The question is for you, Doctor? For who?
For Mr. Agim Kukaj.
For Mr. Agim. If I can answer it, and then I'll give... I think the biggest enemy of innovation is feasibility study. It's always these feasibility studies that are stopping us from doing innovation. And sometimes you just need to do it and stop thinking about feasibility studies and cost effectiveness. And
you already have one system and you want to change to a new one, you have to have a need.
True.
A need.
I know, but innovation goes over that. I'm trying to make the floor mine when I shouldn't. Sorry.
I'm talking about EID schemes, which we know they take a lot of time to develop. They are a sensitive part, and we see, we talked about trust. And I completely agree with Mr. Kukaj that we can learn a lot from other countries how we can build trust. And perhaps banks are a very important part in our country. We have also to see who can actually issue trust. And certificates are very similar, very related to trust. But my question is, if we want to invest time and money in a new project, what was the challenge with the existing one?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I mean, simply, we have these ID cards for a long time, which are not used. And even though there are some means inside these plastic cards that can be used for electronic signature and for identification. However, we are lucky that we have good preconditions in the Ministry of Interior that all informations are there, you know. We will just use informations to develop a kind of scheme which is more modern, more easy to use. I mean, it was shown sometimes that these card readers are very expensive and not very feasible to be used. But still, we didn't decide yet how to go and how to, let's say, make this national architecture and based on what. That would be the matter of discussion between us. Personally, I think that since things are going mobile, things are going through smartphones and proven enough secure, and there are some signs that even Estonia, who is pioneering this EID based on plastic cards, their system is compromised. I think that after the discussions that we have in the ICT community and with the people, and we will decide how to go further. Current systems that we are having need to be upgraded for sure. That I know for sure, and it will need a lot of other elements that are not more expensive than the new one that we are pretending to build. So this is my position, but we didn't decide. This is not my project. This is a nationwide project. We are just trying to organize community in the proper way to have a national consensus. What would be the easiest way to use electronic signature, most secure, and that will make life easier to the citizens and businesses. So these are three, let me say, principles that we have to consider. Technicalities, because today we don't have enough time. Technicalities are maybe for later on, so we can talk about it. But that's our position for now.
I think we spent almost more time than we should have. Just so you know, Bart is one of the top experts in cybersecurity.
Yep.
I just like to joke sometimes because he's a friend. Thank you so much, Bart, for your question. Thank you so much for your time. I thank you for Andrei and Petru. I don't know if they are still there, but I still think that those three words that you said, that people need access to money, they need their money to be mobile, and they need their money to be secure, are the three pillars. I'm going to steal that from you, just so you know. I'm going to use it when you're not here. And those are the three pillars of the digital banking the next years, and banks should start to provide value to customers, not just digitalization, but value. And those three things are the biggest value we need. Thank you so much for everything and for you for listening and being here.